Hello, Jack. I wondered when you would call.
So you've heard the news.
Yes, indeed. Frederick actually just called to inform me of the accident.
I wouldn't call it an accident, Dr. Tiller. A nurse is dead. Dr. Tiller, are you there?
Yes, sorry about that. I thought I saw something.
Saw something?
It was nothing. Frederick seems to think this lends support to his theory about the Chesapeake Ripper. What do you think, Agent Crawford?
I think Dr. Chilton's theory has some merit. There haven't been any other Ripper deaths since Abel was institutionalized, and this body fits the MO. Chilton was also our primary consultant on the previous Ripper cases, so his opinions have some sway.
Always the pragmatic one. Has Will Graham had a chance to view the crime scene yet? If he has, I am curious about what his conclusions were.
Will is skeptical. He isn't certain Abel is the Ripper, but he mentioned the state the body was in was textbook Ripper territory.
Sounds like something that Will would say. I think I'll head over to see the body. Something about this doesn't seem right.
Doctor, this is the closest we've been to catching the Ripper in years. I'm not going to throw it away too easily. Are you planning to interview Abel about this?
I think it would be the best thing to do for his therapy, yes.
Good. Don't prod him about this too much, though. Not until I can talk with him. We'll catch the Chesapeake Ripper yet, Tiller.
Personal notes, October 29th, 8 a.m. Baltimore State Hospital for the criminally insane. Victim's name, Elizabeth Schell, 32 years old, former favorite nurse at the Baltimore State Hospital for the criminally insane. Found dead last night. Initial report indicates cause of death to be multiple puncture and stab wounds throughout the lower and middle abdomen of the body. The victim was killed by Abel Gideon, a patient of mine who I've been conducting experimental procedures and treatments on in hopes to aid in his therapy. Let's inspect the body and make sure the cause of death is correct. initial report was correct. That's quite a few puncture wounds. This does indeed match the MO of the Chesapeake Ripper. Puncture and stab wound impact is consistent with what we know and he is known to be capable of. And the way the body was displayed, as noted in the report, when found, is also consistent with prior victims. She was left impaled and prostrate for all of the staff and the hospital to see. What other information can you provide me, Miss Shell? What other secrets does this body hold? As noted in the initial report, other than the numerous puncture and stab wounds throughout the abdomen and torso, there appears to be no other incision or intrusion in the body. This directly contradicts something we know is critical to the Ripper and what he does to his victims. If Abel Gideon was indeed the Chesapeake Ripper, there would have to have been something else here, Miss Shell. You would be missing something. Probably a kidney. There are no missing organs or extra incisions. Some sort of organ would have to been misplaced or moved within the body, if not removed. The Chesapeake Ripper never misses an opportunity to gloat over their victims and those they're trying to communicate with. There doesn't appear to be any missing bones even, or missing flesh or skin, no missing sinews or tendons, something easy to hide on a person, given that Abel Gideon's confinement, he's a confined, incarcerated individual. Maybe the Ripper wouldn't have... No, that's crazy. The Ripper always takes a trophy, regardless if they can use it or sell it or whatever the FBI thinks they're doing. This could not have been the Ripper without a missing something. Everything is intact besides these puncture wounds through the abdomen. Abel must have thought that would have been enough to convince me or Jack Crawford that he was indeed the Ripper. Personal log. Need to discuss this matter with Abel Gideon. How are you doing today, Abel?
I killed someone, Doc. The favorite night nurse, didn't you hear?
Yes, I heard about that. I actually just came from viewing the body. This is the autopsy report.
Oh, good. How did you like my work? I've heard Agent Crawford is ready to reopen the Ripper case.
It was very convincing, Abel. Almost like reading a visual textbook on the Chesapeake Ripper's ideology. Very insightful.
I bet it was. So I've convinced you, have I?
Abel, you've done a great job out there with your little display. But it lacks the Ripper's grandness. Sure, you butchered this poor woman, impaled her on some metal poles, and left her for us all to see. But there was no substance.
What are you saying, Doc?
You may think you're the Ripper, Abel, but you're not. And it took the life of that poor nurse for me to see that. Now, let's change the subject to something a bit more therapeutic. You know the drill with these cards. I've brought them with me. Tell me the first thing that pops into your head when I show you these cards.
Bird.
Good. What about this one?
A feast.
That's good. It's been a long while since I've had a nice meal, come to think of it. I wonder if Dr. Lecter is around, although I'm one to talk, given what they feed you in here.
Ha ha. Very funny.
Okay. What about this one?
Guilt.
You're a killer. You're condemned.
Murderer.
Murderer. Murderer. Murderer.
Are you there, Tiller?
Yes, sorry, I thought I saw something. You said guilt.
Not fun to feel like you aren't who you are, is it?
No, not very fun at all. Do you often think about how your life would be different right now if you could reverse some of the choices you made?
I find it's best to not think about those things. Otherwise, you'll drown in a well of infinite what-ifs.
So you don't regret killing your wife and kids?
No, Doctor, I don't. Me being here isn't the end of my story, but it certainly is the most fitting path I could have taken.
What do you mean by that?
All those years butchering those people, totally unaware of this other creature inside of me, it has finally led me and Agent Crawford to the same revelation.
And what revelation is that exactly, Abel?
I am the Chesapeake Ripper, Dr. Tiller.
Something tells me the real Ripper will have a demonstration for us soon, Abel. I just hope he doesn't pick me or you to be his canvas. I think that's all I have for you today, Abel. Thank you.